activities / events without overstepping boundaries with other coworkers.
I think the important first step is to go up to them and ask, obviously, who are you? Not who are you, but like what's your name? Introduce yourself, introduce myself, and talk to them, get to know them, get a temp check of how they're feeling, and try to stay by their side. So if it's at a general meeting, stick by them until I have to go, or maybe introduce them to my own friends, and pretty well do that.
As a second year rep, you will be acting as a liaison between your class and the executive board. How do you attempt to hear your class's ideas out, but also balance this with what events you think are within what you want to do in your interests and what's realistic for the schedule for that academic year seems?
Can you repeat, please?
So as the second year rep, you will be the liaison between your class and the executive board. How will you keep in mind the interests of your class and what events they want, the events that you have in mind, and also what you think is realistic for the schedule in that semester?
First off, I would want to talk to the e-board and other reps to ask for their opinions on events that they think would be possible, and then keep some of them in mind with what I want to do. And then I'd probably send out a little form to the second year class and ask for suggestions, and then through the options that we have, balance it out and see our scheduling, because I know there's a lot of things that come into play, like COP day season or PCN season. So I'd probably have a poll and see which event will be desired by the class. Adrian?
So events like KasamaRep require a lot of communication. How do you initiate coordination between you and your fellow KasamaReps?
By being present at our meetings, which are held, I believe, once a week, and then try to communicate with them outside of our own meetings. So whether this be through phone, text, or just meeting up in person, I try to speak to them about our event.
Or some event ideas like that?
From what I've talked about with my friends, or like just other first years in general, a lot of us really want to go hike. That's been a recurring theme. Everyone's like, hike, please, or bonfire. But if not, I think some of the easier options would probably be a game night, a karaoke night, or just like a movie night, or maybe just getting food together.
Why should it be you? You've already explained it, but like, what makes you the most driven person, the most X person to be second year?
I feel like as someone who did start off shy in our program, but then reached out to other people and became more involved, I have that experience to get other people that also felt the same way. Like, this doesn't matter if they're in second year class, this could be new members from first years or upperclassmen. I try to talk to them and get them to participate in our events, because there's so many that we have to offer. There has to be like something that they're slightly interested in.
Representing an entire class, it's probably inevitable that there's going to be differences in opinions and what people want. How do you see yourself overcoming that? Yeah. Representing an entire class, it's pretty much inevitable that there will be differences in opinions and what people want. how they feel about things. How do you see yourself overcoming that or managing it?
I try to weigh out my options, and I'd probably confide in other members in the executive board for advice because they have more experience, especially the third and fourth year reps. They know how to mitigate these types of problems. But on my end, I try to, I guess, stick with the majority, but also try to hear out other sides and let both sides hear each other. So,
Being on board and in college is rough. How do you plan to stay on top of your studies and your duties on board?
I would set reminders for certain things that need to be done, especially with my classes, and then obviously we have our once a week meetings with the board, and I try to talk to other members if I do have time conflicts, because I know obviously things come up, and not everyone can be present 100% of the time, and that's really important. But even if I am missing, I try to make up by going to office hours or just talking to other members and asking what happened so I can catch up to speed.
Right, do we have any last question? Nika? And then that's the last question.
Like, what are like you think the main skills that a second year Kasama rep needs, and like where would you say like you've like succeeded in that in your like past?
I say the main three skills in my mind would be organization, social skills, and doing everything in a timely manner, because all of us, we all have different schedules and we're all very busy from what I know. I feel like as of right now, I've succeeded mostly in the social aspect, especially as someone who was shy in the beginning of our school year, but eventually I did grow out and I want to kind of bring that experience.
Thank you so much. That is the end of the KasamaRep